So, where we left it, I'm just trying to, we'll continue from there. So, we are looking at the organs of speech. So, essentially, the nose, the nasal cavity, the upper row of teeth, upper lip, upper row of teeth. All right. Lower lip, lower row of teeth. There. Okay. And then there we have the roof of the mouth. Okay. And then we have the beard. So we looked at the lips, bilabial. Are we clear about this? So we looked at the lips, bilabial is over. I don't want to repeat what we said. There are three bilabial sounds: ha, and ma. Okay, ha, and ma. Three bilabial sounds we saw. Then two. The second one we saw was labiodental. Okay, labiodental. And that we have two sounds in English. We are talking about English consonant sounds. All right, people. If fan, van. I gave you two examples. Then we came to dental or interdental. That is, in action, either in articulators, the contact are there, the two lips. Another bilabial. Bi is two, lips is, of course, the lips, labial. Okay. Labiodental, the lip and the upper row of teeth come into contact with each other. Dental is the tongue coming into contact or creating that the tongue is in between the teeth. Something like this. Imagine the tongue like this. Only thing, it is not jutting out, but inside. Okay. And these two sounds are produced. Dental sound. One is the and the. Okay. The tongue is in contact or is in between the two rows of teeth. You want to understand it better? The tongue is firmly in contact with the upper row of teeth, but creates a small gap to produce these two sounds. Okay, and usually the letter combination that represents this sound is PH. Okay, PH is the letter combination for both the sounds. So you are clear about this? So let's continue from lips. We looked at the lips. We looked at the teeth. Okay, and then we looked at the lips and the teeth, labiodental, and then we looked at the dental sounds. So lips and teeth முடிச்சிட்டோம். அதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன பார்த்தோம்னா, this is the alveolar bridge. So here I'm just marking it. I'll be calling this 1 now. Let me call this 3, 4. Let me call this 4. Okay. So this is the alveolar bridge. There's some detail I want to add. Okay. It is the rough part of the infantry. When you feel it with your tongue, with the tip and blade of your tongue, these are the this is the alveolar bridge, and we have the alveolar sounds, the alveolars or alveolar sounds. There are totally how much? Okay. Is and then is and in. So in. All right. That is illuku innuku. Innoru which vishayam before we proceed further. For the sounds ill and in, the place is the same. The only thing is for ill, it's a oral sound. The air comes out of the mouth. For in, the air comes out of the nose. Okay. All right, people. So alveolars are clear. Okay. So after the alveolars, what would you call? I think someone said. I think Sumaya said. Sir, immediately we have the hard palate. The hard palate. I'll call it 5. The hard palate. And we have hard palate produce பண்ற sound என்ன சொல்லுவீங்க? Palatal sound. So you have the alveolar bridge, and you have the hard palate here. Palatal sound. Okay. Palatal sound. Okay, now there is one palatal sound. Now, what do you mean by a palatal sound? Any sound in which the tongue comes towards the hard palate or is in contact with the hard palate, we call it a palatal sound. There is only one palatal sound in English, and that is, I'll produce this sound here. So there is no contact at all. If I show you the mouth picture of it, you'll understand it much better. Okay, so for here, the mouth picture will look something like this. So you have to look at the mouth. I'm just drawing a rough. So this is the tongue. The tongue will be very near the heart. A major part of the tongue will be near the hard palate. Okay, in the correct வரையணும்னா palate இதான் நம்ம palate. So ஏன்னா இதுக்கு அப்புறம் soft palate. So between these two lines that I've drawn in this boundary, the tongue would be in this position, in such a position. Okay, and ear is produced. Now, this is the hard palate, and after the hard palate, what do we have? Soft palate. Very good. The soft palate, fix is soft palate. So, it is also called as the velum. Okay, and so you can either call it soft palate sounds. What else can you call it? Any sound which is produced here can be called as what? Anybody? Velum இருக்குல்ல அப்ப அதுக்கு ஒரு sound கூட velar sounds. Okay, so we have the velar sounds. What happens is the action of the tongue, again the tongue goes and either touches it or comes very close to the soft palate or velum. So that is called, those are called as velar sounds. The back of the tongue. So இது எப்படி இருக்கும்னா இது நான் இங்க காட்டினேன் இல்லையாக்கா சார். இப்போ நீங்க நம்ம டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண போற சவுண்ட்ஸ்க்கு மவுத் பிக்சர்ஸ் கொடுங்க சார். முதல்ல மவுத் பிக்சர் காட்டுறேன், then I'll show you what really happens. Okay, so the mouth picture is very simple. So you have the soft palate here, nasal cavity. Okay, so the back of the tongue would be in contact like this, not exactly like this. Now the bunch of iron, the back of the tongue goes and touches the velum. Okay, and we have three velar sounds in English, namely, okay, we have three velar sounds in English: k, g, and ing. Okay, k, g, and ing. Okay, kit, or you can say, yeah, kit, go, and king. Okay, this ing is this. Okay, king. Okay, we'll talk about the words later. I've given you one or two representative words, but these are the three sounds. What really happens? This goes and touches the soft palate. K, g, ing. All right. So then, after the velum, what do we have? Velum after anybody? Velum after the velum, what do you have? There's a small hanging structure. I have not shown it here, but we can always name it. After the velum, the uvula. That is, you want to observe the uvula. Take a mobile phone, expose your mouth to the light source, to a light source, and what you see, the pendulum-like structure that you see hanging at the end of the roof of the mouth is a uvula. Is called the uvula. Those are called as 7. So uvula. Okay. So they are called as uvular sounds. Uvular sounds. There are no uvular sounds in English, but you will find them in German and in Arabic. For example, if you velar sound ragana, ka, it's there in Hindi also. But if I say ka, I'm producing a uvular sound. Okay, so the car is but that's there. No, that's there. There are so many theories attached to it. There are a lot of theories attached to it. Okay, anything wait. Theory basis. Remember, English has 44 sounds. Tamil has around 30 sounds. the literature of that particular language will decide the quality of the sounds that it has, will decide the syllable structure, and will also decide the poetic meter. So நீ எந்த மாதிரி கவிதை எழுதுறியோ அதை வச்சுதான் நீ வந்து இது பண்ண போற. See, whether you produce this curve or this curve does not matter. Sir, அது வீலார் வந்து because நம்ம வந்து தமிழ்ல வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் தேங்காய்னு சொல்றோம். ஏன்னா தேங்காய் நிறைய இருந்தது, அதனால நம்ம வீலார் சவுண்ட் யூஸ் பண்றோம். That is nonsense here. Very simple. The quality of your sounds, the sounds that you use are decided by the literature that you produce, by the songs that you sing. And song க்கு என்ன தேவை? Poetic line தேவை. அந்த லைன்ல எது ஃபிட் ஆகுதோ அதை தான் நீ சூஸ் பண்ணுவ. In fact, I can go so far as to say, ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ்ல அந்த சவுண்ட் இல்லைன்னா அந்த மாதிரி சாங் வராது. That is why you find that in certain languages, for example in Telugu, which has more number of a particular kind of sounds, songs will sound better. It's easier to write songs in Telugu than in other languages. There's a particular reason for that. புரியுதா? இது இன்னும் நம்ம சிலபிள்குள்ள போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் நமக்கு புரிஞ்சிடும். The sounds that you choose, the syllable and the poetic line will decide why you have chosen these sounds. And by the way, English poetic line பத்தி, poetic meter பத்தி நிறைய பேசிட்டாங்க. அது எவ்வளவு கஷ்டம் அப்படின்னு பேசிருக்காங்க. Phonetics. Speak properly. Okay? There is a very clear-cut reason why people are doing this. For example, you come to certain languages, certain sounds will be dominating. Adu yen appuram pes. So these are the sounds that this particular language has chosen. English has chosen these particular languages, these particular sounds. Okay. Now after that, okay pa, inga நம்ம ULR பண்ணிட்டோம். அதுக்கு அப்புறம் வேற என்ன இருக்கு? Next, front of the tongue. Front of the tongue, front, center, back எல்லாம் வந்து they come in touch with the articulators. அதோட முடிச்சுக்கலாம். நீ டங்க செப்பரேட்டா நீ பார்க்கணும்னா அது தியரியே வேற. அது நான் நேத்திக்கே சொல்லிட்டேன், அது ப்ரீவியஸ் வீடியோல சொல்லிட்டேன். You cannot consider the tongue separately. If you are going to consider the tongue separately, then the theory is different. You cannot do it like this. நீ ஹார்ட் பேலட் சாஃப்ட் பேலட் பேசிட்டு இருக்க முடியாது, வேற விதமா நீ பார்க்க. So இதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்னமா வருது? What is epiglottis? Yes. So you have the is epiglottis. So immediately that will be epiglottal sounds. Correct? There are no epiglottal sounds in English. How to produce an epiglottal sound? I'll demonstrate that later. Okay? But what is this? இது ஒரு ஏரியா இருக்கு. இதுக்கு எதற்காக ஒரு பேர் வைக்கலாம். I have not marked it in the. I have not done any marking there. So epiglottis is that, but இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒன்னு இருக்கு. So this space starting from here up to here is called as, let me call it 9, as the pharynx. Pharynx. Pharynx, and the sounds that are produced by the pharynx are called as the pharyngeal sounds. Again, there are no pharyngeal sounds in English. So pharynx, so rendu illana kanna epiglottal sounds and 9 pharyngeal sounds. Okay? எந்தெந்த பாஷையில இருக்குன்னு அப்புறம் பார்க்கலாம். முதல்ல இந்த 44 தரவா கேட்டு then we'll come to that. Okay? Okay. So no pharyngeal sounds. Then வேற இருக்கு. அதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன இருக்கு? கீழ வந்தேன்னா vocal part இருக்கு. vocal part நடுவுல இருக்கிற கேப் நம்ம glottis னு சொல்றோம். Glottis. So I'll call this 10. Glottis, and that is the glottal sound. Glottal sound. There is only one glottal sound in English. Hat. Okay. Now, before we proceed any further, இதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன இருக்குமா? ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. By the way, I have not labeled one more thing. See, if you touch this, for men it is better. You can feel it much easier. Women, don't press it too much. See, our vocal cords, you just touch this just below the beard line for men, and yeah, around the same place near your neck for women. If you touch it, you will see there's a structure here. it is your vocal cords. If you touch it, you will be able to, when you speak, you can feel the vibration. This particular structure is the structure in which the vocal cords are situated. Vocal cords are there, kept there. The structure இருக்கு. இதுக்கு பேர் தான் larynx. So இங்க நம்ம வந்து larynx or voice box. Okay, larynx or voice box. இதுதான். Are there any laryngeal sounds in English? Actually, no. Now, calculate how many sounds are there before we close the video. It's almost 2:52. We have not completed it. Tell me how many sounds? Bilabial 3 இல்லையாமா? From count மட்டும் சொல்லு. Labiodental 2, anjaika dental 2, 7, alveolars 6, 13, palatal 1, 14. Okay, no marks for that. Velars 3, 17 ஆயிட்டா யுகுலார் சவுண்ட் கொஞ்சம் கிடையாது. So 17, 18 மிச்சம் 6 என்ன கணக்கு? மொத்தமா 24 சொன்னா இல்லையா? அப்ப 6 என்ன கணக்கு? எங்க போடுறது நம்ம? Where is it? Think about it. I'll meet you tomorrow. Now tomorrow I'm on leave.